Again, my name's Gabe Zollner. Caught a little bit of Fox News. Eric Bolling was on, and they showed a couple of video clips. And one of the clips they showed was the attorneys for the Michael Brown family. And they did admit that that's their son, or that was their son, in that convenience store where Mike, they're referring to him as Mike now to make him more human, where Mike picked up the store owner by the throat. They admit that was him. But they say that's just a diversion, it's a distraction. Yeah, the police are just trying to distract. Distract from what? If that's Big Mike intimidating and threatening, what we should do is we should have that store owner testify as to how he or she felt as Big Mike picked him up to intimidate him. You know, the whole thing's crazy. We still haven't heard from Darren Wilson, the police officer that shot Michael Brown. This whole thing is just out of control. They're not going to let go of it because they see big dollar signs. What still has to happen, and I said this earlier, is we need to see the rap sheet, if there is a rap sheet. And again, I'm not suggesting that there is, but if there is, we need to see it. And I don't understand how Dorian Johnson's not guilty of some crime. In the video where you see Brown intimidating the store owner, you also see Brown clearly handing the box of cigars off to Dorian. So how is he not implicated? But that's not for me to decide, and I said that before. What I think has to happen is Dorian Johnson has to be subjected to a lie detector to see if any of what he's saying is factual, as do all of the other witnesses. Maybe they're just a little bit impartial towards blacks because they're blacks themselves. I don't know. You know, this thing's picking up a lot of momentum and it's getting an awful lot of traffic. And I'm getting an awful lot of comments. Most are positive, some aren't. But for those that send me negative comments, please look into whatever you need to look into before you comment, because you're going to be proven to be wrong. Mike is a thug, or he was a thug. And that's clear as day on the video where he picks up the little store owner and intimidates him. Nobody should be killed for stealing a box of cigars. But until we hear from the police officer, Darren Wilson, and before we corroborate the bullets, where they entered Mike, why the shot went off in the car initially, all that has to be made available. But the rioting has to stop. And Obama and Holder have to keep their noses out of it. That's what has to happen. Will it? I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to think that it won't. Why let a good opportunity or a good crisis go to waste? Isn't that what Rahm Emanuel said? And Rahm Emanuel was Barack's chief of staff at one point. He's also the mayor of that peaceful city in Illinois, Chicago, the murder capital of America.